Have you ever loved someone so much that you would travel to the dark underworld to save them? Today we will explore a powerful tale of music and love. It is a story about hope and a terrible mistake. Get ready to learn English with a famous ancient Greek myth. Welcome to Fairy Tales English Journey. Today we are traveling back to ancient Greece. We will meet a young man with a magical gift. His name was Orpheus. He was the greatest musician in the world. He played the lyre. A lyre is a small harp with beautiful golden strings. When Orpheus played his lyre, something amazing happened. The wild animals stopped hunting to listen. The birds flew down from the trees. Even the rough stones and tall trees seemed to move closer to him. His music brought peace to everyone. The world was a brighter place when he played. Orpheus was happy, but he was also lonely. He wanted someone to share his beautiful music with. One sunny afternoon, he saw a lovely young woman. Her name was Eurydice. She was dancing in a green meadow filled with colorful spring flowers. Her smile was as bright as the sun. Orpheus fell in love with Eurydice right away. He walked over to her and began to play a gentle song. Eurydice stopped dancing and listened. She looked into his kind eyes. She felt a deep connection to him. From that moment, they knew they were meant to be together forever. Soon, Orpheus and Eurydice were married. All their friends and family came to celebrate. They danced and sang under the blue sky. The gods in the sky smiled down on them. Everyone agreed they were the perfect couple. They spent their days walking in the woods and sharing sweet stories. Their happiness was complete. Orpheus played his best music for Eurydice. She picked beautiful flowers and made crowns for his head. They thought nothing could ever ruin their joy. But life can change very fast. A dark shadow was waiting for them in the tall grass of the green meadow. One warm afternoon, Eurydice went for a walk with her friends. They were laughing and running near a quiet river. Eurydice did not look down at her feet. She stepped on a poisonous snake hidden in the green leaves. The snake was scared and it bit her on the ankle. Eurydice cried out in pain and fell to the ground. Her friends ran to help her, but it was too late. The poison moved very fast. Eurydice closed her eyes and took her last breath. The bright light left her face. She was gone. The forest became very quiet and sad. Orpheus heard the sad news and ran to the river. When he saw his beautiful wife on the ground, his heart broke into pieces. He cried for days and nights. He could not eat and he could not sleep. The world lost all its color and all its bright joy. Orpheus picked up his lyre. He played the saddest song the world had ever heard. The birds stopped singing. The river stopped flowing to listen. Even the strong oak trees dropped their green leaves in sorrow. Everyone who heard the music felt the deep, heavy pain in his broken heart. Orpheus decided he could not live without Eurydice. He made a very brave choice. He would go down to the underworld. The underworld was the dark place where people went after they died. No living person had ever gone there and returned. But Orpheus was not afraid of the dark. He walked to a deep, dark cave at the edge of the world. This cave was the secret door to the underworld. Cold air blew out from the dark rocks. Orpheus held his golden lyre tightly. He took a deep breath and stepped inside the dark and scary stone cave. The path was steep and very dark. Shadows moved on the cold stone walls. Orpheus heard strange noises in the deep dark. But he kept walking down and down. He thought only of Eurydice. His love for her gave him the strong courage he needed to face the scary shadows. Soon he reached a wide black river. This was the river Styx. A grumpy boatman named Charon took the dead across the river. Charon saw Orpheus and told him to go away. Living people were not allowed on the dark boat. Charon raised his tall wooden stick to push him. Orpheus did not fight the angry boatman. Instead, he started to play his golden lyre. The music was soft and full of sorrow. Charon stopped moving. The angry look left his old wrinkled face. A single tear fell from his eye. He silently pointed to a seat on the boat. Charon rowed the wooden boat across the black water. When they reached the other side, Orpheus stepped off. He walked past pale ghosts wandering in the thick gray fog. The ghosts stopped to listen to his sweet music. The beautiful sounds reminded them of the warm sun and green grass. Next, Orpheus met a giant dog with 3 heads. The dog was named Cerberus. He guarded the tall iron gates of the underworld. Cerberus growled and showed his sharp white teeth. He was ready to attack the living man. But Orpheus played a gentle lullaby on his bright golden lyre. The sweet music calmed the angry beast. The three huge heads drooped down. The giant dog closed his 6 eyes and fell fast asleep. Orpheus walked quietly past the sleeping monster. He pushed open the heavy iron gates. He was finally inside the grand palace of the dark underworld king. The king of the underworld was Hades. His queen was Persephone. They sat on tall black thrones. Hades looked very stern and cold. He asked Orpheus why a living man dared to enter his quiet kingdom. Hades told him to leave at once or face a very terrible dark punishment. Orpheus did not speak. He let his music speak for him. He played a song about his deep love for Eurydice. He sang about her bright smile and her sudden death. He sang about his broken heart and his empty life. The music filled the large, cold stone throne room. The song was so sad and so beautiful that the whole underworld stopped. The ghosts stopped crying. The harsh punishments of the bad souls paused. Even the cold heart of King Hades melted a little. Queen Persephone wiped a tear from her cheek. She remembered the bright world above ground. Hades raised his hand and the music stopped. He looked at the brave musician. Hades said he would grant Orpheus one wish. Orpheus asked for Eurydice to return to the world of the living. He promised they would both return to the underworld when they grew old and finally died. Hades agreed, but he gave Orpheus one very strict rule. Eurydice would follow Orpheus up the dark path to the living world. However, Orpheus must not look back at her until they both reached the sunlight. If he looked back even once, she would disappear into the dark shadows forever. Orpheus thanked the king and queen. He turned around and started the long walk back to the surface. He heard soft footsteps behind him. His heart leaped with joy. Eurydice was following him. He wanted to turn around and hug her, but he remembered the strict rule of King Hades. The journey up was very difficult. The path was steep and covered with loose rocks. The air was thick and hard to breathe. Orpheus walked slowly and carefully. He listened hard for the soft sound of her bare feet on the stones. The silence of the dark cave was heavy. Sometimes the footsteps stopped. Orpheus felt a cold panic in his chest. Was she still there, or had she fallen behind in the dark fog? He wanted to call her name, but he was afraid to break the quiet spell. He kept his eyes fixed firmly on the path ahead. Hours passed like slowly dripping water. The dark shadows seemed to whisper doubts into his ears. They told him Hades had tricked him. They said he was walking alone. They said Eurydice was still trapped in the cold underworld. Orpheus shook his head and tried to ignore the bad whispers. Finally, he saw a tiny gray light far above him. It was the entrance to the cave. The upper world was close. His steps became faster and lighter. He could smell the fresh air and the green trees. He could hear the faint singing of the little forest birds outside. The light grew brighter and brighter. Orpheus stepped out of the dark cave and into the warm, bright sunlight. He felt the soft grass under his tired feet. He was so happy and so relieved. He had done it. He had rescued his true love from the dark, silent underworld. In his great joy, he forgot the warning. He thought they were both safe in the light. He turned around to look at his beautiful wife. He wanted to see her sweet smile again. But Eurydice was still standing just inside the dark shadow of the cold gray stone cave. She had not yet stepped into the sunlight. Their eyes met for one brief second. Orpheus saw her face clearly. She looked sad but full of love. She reached out her pale hand toward him. She whispered a soft goodbye that floated on the wind. Then she started to fade. Orpheus reached out to grab her hand, but he only caught the empty air. Eurydice was pulled backward into the deep dark shadows. She vanished like morning mist in the warm sun. The door to the underworld closed with a loud, heavy sound. Orpheus was left completely alone once again. He fell to his knees and cried out in terrible pain. He ran back to the cave, but the entrance was blocked by heavy rocks. He hit the rocks with his hands until they bled. He begged Hades to give him another chance. But the underworld was silent and closed. Orpheus sat by the closed cave for 7 days. He did not eat or drink. He only cried and played sad songs on his lyre. He knew it was his own fault. His lack of trust and his quick impatience had cost him the only person he truly loved deeply. Finally, he realized she was gone forever. He picked up his golden lyre and walked away from the cave. He wandered through the wild forests and over the tall green mountains. He never played happy music again. His songs were only about lost love and deep sorrow and dark regrets. The animals still came to listen to him. The trees still bent down to hear his beautiful, sad voice. But Orpheus found no comfort in their company. He ignored all the other women who tried to win his broken heart. He only wanted his lost Eurydice back in his arms. Many years passed. Orpheus grew old and his hair turned white, but his love for Eurydice never faded away. One day, a group of angry wild women found him in the forest. They were mad because he ignored them and only sang sad songs about his dead wife all day. The angry women threw stones and branches at the old musician. Orpheus did not try to run away. He was tired of living without his true love. He let the women attack him. He closed his eyes and welcomed the end of his long and very sad and lonely life. When Orpheus died, his soul floated down to the underworld. This time he did not need a boat or a brave plan. He was a ghost just like the others. He walked past the black river and the giant dog. He walked straight into the beautiful quiet fields of peace. There, in a meadow of pale flowers, he found her. Eurydice was waiting for him. She smiled the same bright smile he remembered from their first day. They ran to each other and hugged tightly. They were finally together again. No dark rules could ever separate them in this place. Now they walk together in the quiet underworld forever. Sometimes Orpheus walks in front and Eurydice follows. Sometimes Eurydice walks in front and Orpheus follows. They can look at each other whenever they want. They have no more fears and no more doubts. Their long, tragic journey is finally over. What can we learn from this ancient story? The tale of Orpheus and Eurydice teaches us about the great power of love. Love gave Orpheus the courage to face death itself. Love inspired the most beautiful music ever heard. Love can make us do brave and amazing things every day. But the story also teaches us a hard lesson about trust. Hades gave Orpheus a simple rule. Orpheus had to trust that Eurydice was behind him. He had to trust the promise of the Dark King. When his trust failed, he lost his great prize. Trust is essential in love. Patience is another important lesson here. Orpheus was so close to the goal. He only had to wait a few more seconds for Eurydice to step into the light. His impatience caused a terrible tragedy. Sometimes we must wait calmly for the good things we want in our daily lives. We also learn about the finality of death. The ancient Greeks believed that death was a strict rule. No one could escape it forever. Orpheus tried to break this natural rule. His story shows that we must accept the natural cycle of life. We must cherish every single precious moment. The power of art and music is a central theme too. Orpheus used his music to change the world around him. Art can express our deepest feelings when words are not enough. Art can connect us to others and bring beauty into dark spaces. Music is a universal human language. Let us review some English words from the story. Underworld means a place below the earth where the dead go. Courage means being brave when you are very scared. Impatience means not wanting to wait. These words help us understand the deep emotions in this classic Greek myth of love. You can practice your English by retelling this story to a friend. Try to use the new vocabulary words. Describe the dark cave and the beautiful music. Explain why Orpheus looked back. Practicing with stories makes learning English fun and easy. You will remember the words much better this way. Thank you for joining Fairy Tales English Journey today. We hope you enjoyed this tragic love story. Please subscribe to our channel for more exciting tales and English lessons. Leave a comment below and tell us what you would do for love. See you next time for another great adventure.